Here, we are going to go over the top 5 Ganondorfs in the series. There have been over 10 Ganondorf in the series, so we are going to rank the top 5 and work our way to the number 1 slot. The truth about the Gerudo king most don't know about Ganondorf was raised by his surrogate mother, Katoke and Kome, also known as Twin Rover. We don't know who Ganondorf's parents are, it is never referenced in the series, but I have a theory that Ganondorf was birthed by Katoke and Kome when they were fused as Twin Rover, who is over 400 years old. Ocarinas of Time. The original Gerudo king, the one that started it all. Let's dissect this Ganondorf, shall we? This Ganondorf is truly the start of the King of Gerudo tyrannical reign of power. First, his army primarily consists of the Gerudo, some monsters. He was able to poison Jabu Jabu, revive a borderline deity Calamity in Volvagia, and in the 7 years Link was aging, he essentially took over the whole Zelda world that we know of at that time. He also has the Triforce of Power. While it's not explicitly stated in the series, it kind of seems to be implied that the Triforce of Power is the strongest piece of the Triforce because it seems it always takes the blood of the goddess, with the Triforce of Wisdoms and the spirit of the hero, with the Triforce of Courage to overwhelm the Curse of Demise, which is what Ganondorf represents, in addition to the Triforce of Power. Twilight Princess. What makes this Ganon so powerful? After being trapped in the Twilight Realm, he is a master of Twilight magic. He can make powerful phantom copies of himself to aid him in combat. He was so powerful by even granting a fraction of his power to Zant. Zant was able to overwhelm the rightful ruler of the Twilight Midna, curse her into an imp, and threw her into the light that all but nearly killed her until Zelda sacrificed herself to bring Impa back to life. When, as the story concludes, we see Impa acquire the fused shadow and easily overwhelm Zant, who before was an insurmountable obstacle for Midna. With the fused shadow, it greatly increased her power to overwhelm him, but Ganondorf fights Impa and overwhelms her with ease. Ganondorf takes on Impa, Zelda, and Link in the climactic fight and eventually loses, and even then the man still dies on his feet. What a freaking Chad! Well, now we move on to the next Ganon in our ranking series, Ganon. Now, this Ganon right here is a weird Ganon. Let's talk about why though. First, this Ganon is in his powerful boar form. This is the Ganon you defeat at the end of the Oracle games. You remember when Twin Rover and them had that botched resurrection so he came back as a mindless killing machine? Yeah, we all remember that. Well, in this game, this Ganon is merely used as a vessel and tool by Yuga. In the Link Between Worlds, Ganon has the Triforce of Power. Yuga, who is a powerful mage with many crazy abilities, decides to fuse with Ganon like in a Dragon Ball Z type of ish and become Ganon, so he is now many times stronger with the powers of Ganon, the abilities of Yuga, and the Triforce of Power at his disposal. You would think that's enough, right? Right? Nope. Wrong. Yuga betrays the Princess Hilda, who is essentially the knockoff Zelda of the Hyrule world. Long story short, he does this and now obtains the Triforce of Wisdom, so now he is one step away from obtaining ultimate power. The ability to rival the power of the 3 golden goddesses and Hylia herself. Wields a powerful and huge golden trident, can only be hurt with the golden arrows which hold the powerful of the Triforce itself. Able levitate, teleport, transform into a painting, transform others into paintings, merge with other beings, creates entire armies by painting them, aka like Sai from the Naruto series, lol. He tricks Hilda to take her powers. A Link to the Past, the second most powerful Ganon ever. Zelda 1 introduced in, Zelda 2 threatened his resurrection, and Zelda 3 shows you who he really is. A monster, a beast no one ever knew was coming. This is Ocarina of Time Ganon, who didn't lose. He killed the hero and acquired the full Triforce, and in a last-ditch effort to stop him, the sages came together after the hero fell and imprisoned him in the sacred realm, but his power was so great he turned it into the dark world. This Ganon was so cunning and powerful, he found a great fairy and corrupted it. We have never seen any Ganondorf in the series corrupt a great fairy. We never really see great fairies be confronted by a Ganondorf before, but this Ganondorf who learns from his past mistakes with the hero, he decided to go after one of the hero's most powerful allies, a great fairy, which shows how strategically brilliant he is. He also acquired all 3 pieces of the Triforce, giving him the ability to rival Hylia and the 3 golden goddesses themselves. Don't ask me how Link won. That fight plot convenience is a hell of a steroid in these Zelda games apparently, lol. Tears of the Kingdom's Ganondorf is the most powerful Ganondorf in the series. Now, before you start sliding on mine in the comments, hear me out. Let's talk about all this Ganondorf's abilities. This Ganondorf was borderline unstoppable. First off, his blind Ganons, who are a mere fraction of his power, killed all the champions and took over the divine beasts. His hordes of guardians wore out the hero until he collapses, and it takes the power of the Triforce to fend off the hordes of enemies attacking. Now, here's the crazy part. That's the smallest fraction of his powers. Don't believe? Well, let's find out, shall we? Ganondorf was imprisoned in Hyrule for 100 years. In the midst of 100 years, he was held off only by the full Triforce itself. At the end of Breath of the Wild, it takes the 4 divine beasts, Link with his divine beast, the full power of the Master Sword just to kill Calamity Ganon, the arrows that have Triforce imbued into them as well. Now remember, all of this is Calamity Ganon. He also was so powerful that his malice covered Hyrule and created the Blood Moon, which caused dead enemies to revive and attack Hyrule. Which is probably why the whole 100 years it's been impossible for Hyrule to recover or to defeat the enemies overrunning the kingdom. Now all this is not even the real Ganondorf. The real Ganondorf, in his first encounter with a full-powered Link post Breath of the Wild based off the game, Ganondorf's sheer miasma caused the Master Sword to wither and shatter and break, and Link lost his arm. This is a withered Ganondorf, no powers just within a few moments of him waking up. Now it gets even crazier with his backstory. This Ganondorf backstory is insane. He single-handedly took on all the ancient champions by himself, including the Hyrule's first king, a Zonai called Rauru, who canonically, from what we know, was the most powerful king, and his element was light, which was Ganondorf's natural weakness, and Ganondorf dark magic was so powerful it overwhelmed all of them by himself. The only thing they could do was seal Ganondorf for 10,000 years. The only way this Ganondorf would actually fall is by sending the Master Sword back in time to when Ganondorf was sealed and bathed the Master Sword in sacred light, potentially even Triforce power for 10,000 years. We remember that Zelda was the host of the full Triforce, and when she sacrificed herself in the Draconification ritual, this amplified her powers greatly. As it was said that tears amplify power, she was also the wielder of the full Triforce, in addition to her having the powers of both light and time. The sword is being infused with all this energy for over 10,000 years. In theory, this is the most powerful sword in terms of strength in the entire series, and only this sword could cut down this Ganondorf. Oh wait, I am sorry, that's not even Ganondorf in his most powerful form. He also has a Draconification form. A demon dragon that takes both the immortal Dragon Zelda, all the heroes, and Link with the ultimate Master Sword to finally cut down. This Ganondorf was truly a monster beyond measure. No Ganondorf in terms of power, influence, abilities even comes close to this Ganondorf. I will go as far as to say in all of the lore of history, maybe only 2 Links would have had a chance to cut this Ganondorf down. And that's still a stretch. Can you guess which 2 Links I'm thinking about? Leave your answers in the comments, like and subscribe, and follow us for more awesome Zelda content.